I am excited to welcome Jackie Prince, founder and creative strategy director, I believe is your secondary. I'm sure all hats applied to Jackie Prince of Guests on Earth that I was lucky enough to partner with for our annual client cleaning kit. We do it every spring and I've gone through a few iterations and I feel like I've kind of like kissed a lot of frogs and I found my prince. Like I really love your product. And I was saying we have had so much great feedback. So welcome to Leverage.
Thanks, Rachel. Thank you for having me. And I'm so happy to hear that people liked the gifts.
Always nice to hear when someone loves something you created and you're so passionate about, right? Yeah, no, I had people calling me after, just saying I'm like obsessed with this scent. I have to get it. I need more. Where can I buy it? It was great. And I'm like, we gotcha. We
It's
got
such a
loads
good
now.
move-in gift. Like it's the perfect move-in gift for sure. Or like dinner party gift also, like hostess gift.
It's a great hostess gift. Yeah. So, I mean, as I was saying to you, it's now like our staple. We leave it in all our clients' homes when they move in. It's a little starter pack. Yeah. So it's been a great win-win. So thank you. But I always am so interested in brands. Obviously, you are Canadian made, Canadian owned. You are a women owned company. So lots of great stories to talk about. But you also have a really impressive background. I mean, one of them being that you worked for TikTok. Maybe just give the audience a little bit of your background, like what caused you to go from like TikTok into like, I want to create my own brand.
For sure. So I have always been kind of obsessed with like marketing and branding and the idea of like creating a world around to just really elevate what it means and stands for and how it connects with people. So my career has been in advertising, social impact, and tech. I started in London, England on the digital side, and then I moved over to New York. This was like in the 2010s, and it was about in 2008, 2009, 2010. It was very much about like extending brand campaigns digitally, and I wanted to be more part of like the actual development of the branding and positioning and campaigns themselves. So I moved over to a kind of a more hybrid role. So I worked at a number of creative agencies in New York for a long time. Digitas, LBI, what was then just LBI, McGarry Bowen, JWT. So at Edelman for a little while. I worked in social impact for a few years at a business that helped nonprofits and also businesses with their like corporate responsibility, corporate social responsibility, and then went over to Meta when it was still Facebook. So I was on the Meta Creative Shop team. And I've always been entrepreneurial. Like when my first job in New York, I started the business on the side called InstaDerby, where we pulled in Instagram's API before they didn't allow that anymore. And we created weekly themed photo competitions. And that was really fun. And I've just always kind of like had all these like other ideas and things on the side and projects. And then I moved back to Toronto from New York during COVID, and started freelancing it. I freelanced at TikTok for a year on their creative lab team. Creative shop was Facebook, creative lab was TikTok. On the retail business, and then I was at Ogilvy freelancing for a year on the Unilever global business out of the UK.
Huge,
So
huge business.
yeah, huge business, and just very much on kind of like the branding, brand positioning bits. And at TikTok, it was more kind of like high level to executional. But on the side of TikTok, when I moved here, I was really just like hating the experience of being at home and cleaning up after my family like 100 times a day and spraying all of the toxic, the cleaning.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I was really, because you're doing it so much and on everything, and I was like, this is actually awful, and I've never really paid attention to how bad this is. And I had a baby and a 1.5-year-old at the time, and I was just like super aware of what I was exposing them to. And then also when we felt like we weren't consuming very much, like going into the recycling bin every week and just seeing like all these products pile up. So I just started doing more research into this space, and got really excited about the opportunity to create something that like sat at the intersection of like wellness from an ingredient standpoint and experience standpoint, sustainability, from a packaging and format standpoint, and then just design. Because when we moved here, we bought our first house, and it was the first time that we were like designing something, and I never really thought about that before. So I just was like also really in the design space, and
I
I
was going to say, I'm sure it was like a
cool.
hop, skip, and a jump from what you had been doing, right? But now it was like, right.
So yeah, so that's kind of what got me into it. I was like, you know what, this is, it's a good time to do it. I'm freelancing. I can kind of like make my hours. Like I'm sitting in this room by myself, and once I get that done, I can do this. So I just started working on the concept, and brought on this amazing designer to help me kind of go through different iterations of design to get to where we wanted, and cold calling manufacturers, and just like putting all the pieces together.
Well, one of the things that drew me to your brand was obviously the aesthetics. So whenever I give anything away to my clients or associate with anyone, it's always something that I feel is aligned. So it was very simple and chic, but like, and very minimalistic. And I think that, so the first time I ever saw you actually, or ever heard of your product was at the interior design show.
Yeah.
I want to say I was there like 2 years ago because it's usually like in January, right? So it would have been 2024 in January. And I remember being really struck, like gravitating to like the booth and looking at the products. And I think I even bought something. And which is like I wouldn't randomly, actually
Buy
that's not
cleaning
true.
products.
I love to buy stuff. That's absolutely not true. Um, and so, and then I think a mutual friend mentioned your brand to me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to them because I think that it's such a great concept and it just is such an elevated giveaway also. Like it, you think about cleaning products. I mean, there are some that look a little better, but I also, my son had like eczema and he had a bit of also like not asthma, but we were very conscious when he was very young. Like everything in our house was always all natural. I mean, I don't think method is all natural anymore. I think they were bought by.
Yeah, they were acquired.
So, um, I've all like everything in my house from laundry detergent to what goes into my dishwasher has always been all natural, but not as well packaged as yours. So if you are not a client of mine, have not gotten a guest on earth, or if you've never seen it, I mean, the great part is that you have refillable bottles.
Yeah,
And
so it's all
yeah,
like
I was gonna say, I was like, I wonder if she's gonna bring. I've got stuff in my storage, but
I can pull it up. So the
for
model is
all you want, if you're listening, you can watch on YouTube. But yeah, there you go, and you've got your pump. So the great part is that, and I said this to someone just the other day. I said, all you have to do is walk into a landfill once. Like so, the very first time I went to drop garbage at a landfill near my cottage many, many years ago, it changed me. You cannot put stuff in the garbage after you see it. It is horrifying. And I'm not even like save the turtles, like not to say horrible, you know what I mean? I'm like, I bring back plastic straws. But really, it is horrific. And if you are noticing how much you recycle and how much you throw out, and then you're like, divide, 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 this is the kind of product we all need. So go ahead. Yes, take it away.
I think one of the unique things about us is that, so just for a quick overview for those who aren't familiar with the brand. So all of our bottles are aluminum and reusable. So the idea is you just buy the bottles once. And then we have these, I obviously don't have one in my office right now, but we have these small concentrated refill pouches, and each pouch makes 5 full bottles of product. So it dilutes into 5 full bottles. We have all-purpose cleaner, foaming hand soap, dish soap, and we just launched laundry, which we're so excited about. This is
I'm
actually
so excited about it. I'm like, we have to talk about how we get those to the clients
it's
also.
a
I love
super
them.
innovative formula. Like I can talk a little bit about that also because typically, like with laundry detergents and other cleaning products, especially, there's this dilemma between like the natural products that are better for you but just not as effective, and then the conventional products that are actually have a lot of like not good stuff in them, but it's that not good stuff that makes it effective. So like what we really try and do is innovate to find ways of getting more natural or bio ingredients and putting them together in a way that makes them like just as effective or almost as effective as conventional products. And in many ways better than some conventional products. Like we tested this against some pretty heavy hitters, and
Wow, okay. Yeah, because that would definitely be, I've if you're doing some dishes in the sink with an all natural, it will take a lot more to get your dishes done versus if you're throwing a palm olive in. But I mean, I just couldn't do it. Like I can't, I can't do it.
and dishes are actually really hard because the properties that create foam are actually not like really clean properties. So that's actually something we're always working on, like adding like more and more horsepower to the natural dish soap, because we explicitly stayed away from methoxylated alcohols, because those kick off 1,4-dioxane, which is a chemical, it's a toxic byproduct of ethoxylates. And sorry, this is like, maybe
No, but people who are into it will get it.
you
I'm
won't see
totally
it.
into
You'll never see it on an ingredient label because it's not an added ingredient; it's a byproduct. And like it's a potential human carcinogen. And I don't freak out about this stuff, and I don't want to freak anyone out about this stuff. But it's just the understanding that this stuff exists and this is in the products that I'm using. And if I can minimize my use, or if I can use something without these, that's probably going to be better for my family and I.
I agree with you. I think it's just more about making a concerted, like a choice. So like, as if it's like they say, like, no one's like putting deli meat behind the counter with the cigarettes, but there's evidence coming out that it's as dangerous for you. But again, as long as you want to go eat deli meat, eat deli meat. You want to use palm olive to do, no problem. But I think it's important for people to be educated and understand these things that give off, and that your skin's an organ too, and it's absorbing all of that stuff. And anyway.
So I think just back to the waste point in the landfill, why we're so focused on the concentrate is that we really do want to create less waste overall. And so being able to fit 5 bottles into a small pouch is like a really big,
because they're like this big, like they're great, and they make so much.
they're small, they're easy for storage, and they're really economical for the premium nature of what you're getting inside.
Oh, and I love that the scent is not overwhelming, and it doesn't feel like you're breathing in chemicals. It's really like, I kind of equate it to that kind of subtle, if people love those room diffusers, like a very subtle, natural, just like a refresh. So where do you see yourself? Like, so you created this brand, like where you were like, I just want to do a cleaner. You want to create like a whole line. Like like, where are you at where you're like, okay, I've taken over the world.
Yeah. So like the larger, the mission when I started, and it's still, at the core, the mission is to make cleaning more joyful and less wasteful. And I think it sounds really simple, and the joy piece is so huge, because when I look at the category and the larger category opportunity, I don't think of us as like a cleaning business. I think of us as a wellness brand. And there's such a big untapped opportunity in the cleaning space to approach it as wellness, because it's, if you think about it, it's home care. It's taking care of your home and the people inside of your home. And interestingly, like what's driving the cleaning category are more natural and environmentally friendly products, but which we are to our core. But I think layering on this element of wellness, and yes, like the ingredient profile is a huge part of it, but also the scents that we use, and they're designed, like there's aromatherapy elements to both of our essential oil blends, Citrus Oasis and Woodlands.
Right. Oh,
And
they're so amazing. The scents are so
they're
amazing.
so good. Like they smell like nothing else in the category. We did that very intentionally. And again, like the design and the feel, like the matte, like the soft touch matte, and just kind of everything about it, we're trying to fit into that space. So, I mean, I really am, building a business and a brand around this like holistic home wellness space. Fabric care is super exciting for us. So again, like we just launched laundry, but like this is going to be such a hero for us, and we have some really cool stuff in product development now, like in fabric care. It's really exciting. Like I think that one of the hardest parts for me is focus, because you can really get carried away with like, okay, people love this and they're asking for this and they were going to make this. And it's like we really have to, we have to plan everything and be measured. And, there's a reason for everything we're creating. It's fitting into like the overall ethos of the brand. But there's just a lot of really exciting stuff going on. So.
No, and I was going to say, as you like, I looked at your background, and I looked at listened to you talk about how, well, I was in New York, but I also started this, and I was over here and I also started that. I mean, I imagine that as someone who can achieve all that, you usually have, as my husband says, like I have a lot of tabs open in my head at all times,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes. All known as ADD.
Yes, exactly. I just think, it's a more creative way of saying it. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's my husband. Like I thrive in chaos. I thrive in like a million things going on, and I love like 100 projects. And I've got right now, I could tell you I have 20 tabs open at my computer, and they never close. One closes, another one opens. So I can see how that would be challenging. Like I would look at it and be like, are we done with laundry detergent? Like, can I move on to the next one? Can we start five others? And so how did you find it challenging to go through like the R&D process of each product, and how long does it take from like, hey, we're going to do a laundry detergent to like actual conception to say we're going to launch it?
Totally. So I think, like the standard answer for that, I think would be like maybe a year and a half, because if you're working with like, so everything that we do is with like we have a chemist that we work with consistently on our products. And so we have kind of a roadmap with him and we work together on it. And because everything we're doing is different and new, like again, like just even for laundry, like we're the first detergent product to have like to be the highest concentration of glycolipids that replace a lot of the oh my god, the glucosides, which is still in there, but that's usually like a primary ingredient in naturals.
And why is that important? Like just from getting it clean?
But glycolipids have like such a low carbon footprint to create versus like when glucosides have higher carbon footprint to create. So like we're even thinking of those things in the development, and just also like because it's so concentrated, we had to go through a lot of work in terms of like balancing out like the chemistry so that this doesn't kick this out, or like I'm not the
That's what I'm
chemist.
saying. Like,
I know so much now about enzymes and what's in here, but like I have so many conversations with our chemist because I'm just so fascinated by it, and he's so smart, and like every time I talk to him I'm like taking notes and writing stuff down. So this took us about 2 years to create, again because it's like totally new. You build out the R&D, and then you have to do like stability testing and compatibility testing. We also like third party lab test efficacies, because we're not going to launch it unless we know it performs as well as at least the leading natural product. And really like we're striving for performing like at conventional product levels, even with a much cleaner ingredient profile. So it depends. I'd say if you're going to go off and like white label something, meaning you're going to work with a partner who has like all these formulas, and you grab one off the shelf and you rebrand it, it's much faster because you've already done that testing. And that might be a good way for someone to start who's just trying to dip their toes into a space and just see like, okay, is this like, is this like a brand that's going to resonate? Can I create this? And then maybe you go off and create things that are more unique to your, to your brand mission and ethos and all of that.
but you've never white labeled anybody else's product.
Never, no, never.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If anyone thinks about what a white label is, think like President's Choice. Like President's Choice at Loblaws doesn't make anything themselves. They just take a cookie from someone else, and they it's probably something you see on the shelf, and they sell it to them also, and they repackage it.
People have asked us to white label. Like we've had people
Oh, I
come,
bet.
like, can we white label this? And
You're like, no,
we're like, no.
no. So, so you must wear a lot. So you wear a lot of hats. You go into like talk to the chemist. Now you also have a partner.
No, I don't have a partner.
You don't have a partner.
I did have a partner. We amicably parted ways a while ago, but I have a really strong lean team. So there's like this amazing woman, Sarah, that I work with, who's been with me since April of 2024. Just like super smart, super passionate, who kind of really leads our finance and projections and bookkeeping and all of that. Then I have this great woman named Sydney who's like on operations. And we work with this other great woman named Melissa to kind of help us like onboard onto all of these different tech stacks from an inventory management platform. And I'm going to be hiring my first content person to support me because
I was going to say, you're doing
think it's a
everything.
bottleneck. I think like, one of the most interesting things for me and, kind of starting a business is that I had no idea how to run a business and kind of remotely anything involved. And now, I mean, I spend the majority of my time in operations, logistics, production management, financing and like cash flow versus like where I'm good at, which is really like the marketing, the content, the branding. So it's, which has been really good for me because I'm not a finance person and I never will be, but I have a kind of a much deeper understanding now. Also because we just went through our first fundraise. So it's a whole other,
Amazing.
I had to learn all of that. And it's been such a great learning experience. And then the next step is kind of building out the team a little bit so that I have people who excel in different areas and then I can kind of oversee and excel in my areas.
For sure. And take all that because you can't wear all the hats. I mean, I imagine most entrepreneurs have to be, I mean, when I first started in real estate, it was just me. I had nobody. And I've had many iterations of my team for sure. But there's, there's nothing more detrimental for you, anybody's business, than to have you not be doing what you are really good at, right?
Right.
You want to work on you want to work on your business and not be in your business all the time, doing stuff shouldn't be under your auspices.
Totally. But one thing that I think is really great about having kind of gone about it this way is that I have a pretty good understanding of how a lot of things are supposed to work. So that when I do hand more things off eventually, I'll know how to evaluate, like I know how to set the metrics and evaluate how something is going and how things work. Even an example is like Meta performance marketing. Like I worked at Meta, but I was on the creative strategy side. Like I didn't get into like ads management or any of that, but now like through working with a consultant, like he taught me, like now I know how to do that. So I won't be doing that forever, but I know how it works and I'm not intimidated by the platform anymore.
I'm really excited to talk to you about laundry. We'll do that offline and talk about how we can get those added maybe to the cleaning kit or added to the new home gift or how hostess gift would be great. And for anyone who has, interested in trying the brand, reach out to me. I will gladly send you some. But if anyone maybe is just not near me or not in Toronto, where are you distributing retail? Are you only online? How do people reach you? We'll put all of this in the show notes as well when we post. But
so our website, guestsonearth.com, we ship across Canada and the US. We're also available on well.ca.
Oh, okay, fantastic.
And we're going to be opening up Amazon actually for our refills in the fall.
Oh, smart.
Because it'll have a lower shipping threshold for the refill pouches. And then we're also at a number of really fantastic like stores. So, in Toronto, the Detox Market, Coco Market, Good Neighbor, Health Hut, Summerhill Market. So we're around. We have a store locator on our website. Actually, I doubt that it's fully up to date. But if you have any questions, you can always email us at hello@guestsonearth.com and someone will
Yeah, they always get back to you.
Yes, it'll be either Sydney or myself getting back to you.
Well, you guys got back to me when I looked into partnering with you, and it's been an amazing partnership so far. And I'm really excited to see how you guys build this out. I love your product. My clients love your product, and I wish you all the best. And thank you so much for being on the episode and telling everybody kind of a little bit more, because I think I think there are a lot of products on the market that look pretty, that, look stylish, but there's no substance behind it. And I believe that my experience with your product has been that you deliver on both. And I think it's a cleaner that's not ugly, that you don't stick underneath your sink, that, you can leave out, that looks really great no matter how gorgeous your house is. And if it's not, it could be like a styling item on your counter. But thank you again, Jackie.
Thank you so much for having me, Rachel. I really appreciate it.